the ominous Hurst Hotel, renowned for its haunted reputation. Rick, a thrill seeker by nature, had chosen this location with the promise of an adrenaline-charged night. His friends, a motley crew of adventure enthusiasts, were just as eager to partake in this dubious birthday bash. Upon arriving at the hotel, the group was immediately struck by the eerie ambiance of the place. The Hurst Hotel, bathed in the fading light of the evening, stood like a haunted relic of a bygone era. The cobwebs that festooned the halls, the flickering candles casting dancing shadows on the wall, all added to the delightfully creepy atmosphere that they had sought. Rick, the birthday boy, was the first to break the silence. His laughter echoed through the dimly lit corridors, an attempt to shake off the palpable tension that had started to creep in. Following his lead, his friends joined in, their nervous laughter bouncing off the ancient walls of the hotel. Their bravado was evident, their excitement palpable. This was the adventure they had signed up for, the thrill they had anticipated. As they explored the hotel, the group found themselves drawn to the grandeur of its architecture, the elaborate corridors that seemed to stretch on forever. The friends reveled in the thrill of their surroundings, their initial fear giving way to fascination. They laughed off the haunted tales attached to the hotel, dismissing them as mere legends designed to attract thrill-seekers like themselves. The hotel's grand room was the chosen venue for their celebration. They set about preparing for the night, their laughter and chatter lending a semblance of life to the otherwise desolate building. The anticipation of the night's events, the thrill of celebrating in a place as eerie as the Hurst Hotel, was electric in the air. As night fell, the group reveled in the eerie ambiance, setting up for an unforgettable celebration. Little did they know, the night had only just begun, and the real thrills were yet to come. The first signs of something amiss appeared during their makeshift séance. With a thrill of anticipation, they gathered around the Ouija board. Their hands, guided by a mix of curiosity and skepticism, lightly touched the planchette. The room was filled with an eerie silence, broken only by their hushed whispers and the occasional nervous laugh. As they asked the board their first question, a strange energy seemed to fill the space. The planchette started to move in a seemingly random pattern, causing a few startled gasps. The room's ambiance swiftly shifted from light-hearted amusement to something more akin to apprehension. The planchette, now moving with a will of its own, began to spell out cryptic messages. The words it formed were nonsensical at first, but as the session progressed, they took on a more ominous tone. The messages began to hint at a dark history, a tale of sorrow and despair that seemed to echo from the very walls of the Hurst Hotel. With each passing moment, the air grew heavier, thick with a tension that seemed to seep into their bones. The flickering candlelight cast long, dancing shadows that added to the unsettling atmosphere. The laughter that had once filled the room was now replaced by a palpable silence. As the séance continued, the planchette spelled out a final, chilling message. It was a warning, a plea from beyond, urging them to flee. The room grew cold, a sudden chill that made them shiver and pull their jackets tighter around themselves. The candles flickered more erratically, their light casting an eerie dancing glow on their wide-eyed faces. The friends exchanged nervous glances, the thrill of the séance now replaced by a creeping sense of dread. The joviality of the birthday celebration seemed a distant memory, overshadowed by the spectral presence they had unwittingly summoned. Fear began to creep into their hearts, but none dared voice their concerns. The friends sat in stunned silence, the echo of the planchette's final message still hanging heavily in the air. As the clock struck midnight, the walls of the ominous Hurst Hotel began to whisper their dark secrets. Unexplained creaks echoed through the desolate hallways, a symphony of the supernatural that resonated with the eeriness of the night. The friends, caught in a potent mix of fear and fascination, found themselves questioning the line between reality and the spectral world. Doors, seemingly possessed, swung open of their own accord, revealing glimpses of empty rooms steeped in shadows. The flickering light of the candles cast spectral figures against the walls. Their dances no longer seemed playful, but menacing. The once lively group found themselves huddled together, their laughter replaced by hushed whispers and wide-eyed fear. Then, the turning point. An eerie figure draped in tattered garments materialized in the grand room. Its presence was ghastly, a spectral entity that seemed to drain the warmth from the air. The figure's eyes, hollow and haunting, seemed to gaze into their very souls. The group's reaction was immediate and visceral. Horror. The thrill of the haunted hotel had morphed into a terrifying reality they could no longer dismiss as mere tales. Their hearts pounded in their chests like frantic drum beats, each thud echoing the terror that gripped them. In a frenzy, they quickly stumbled through the hotel's elaborate corridors, their exploration now a desperate escape. The shadows that danced on the walls seemed to have taken on a life of their own, pursuing the terrified group with a relentless hunger. The hollow-eyed figure, an embodiment of the hotel's malevolence, loomed behind them, its haunting gaze never wavering. In the early hours of the morning, the horrifying truth revealed itself. The friends, battered and terrified, reconvened in the hotel lobby where the once festive decorations now cast grotesque shadows. Their laughter and excitement from the previous night had been replaced with a dreadful silence, hanging heavy in the air like a shroud. As they stood, huddled together in the dim light of dawn, a sight of pure terror unfolded before them. There, sprawled across the ornate lobby floor, lay their lifeless bodies, each one a chilling tableau of the fear they had endured throughout the night. Their eyes, once alive with thrill and anticipation, stared vacantly into the abyss, their final moments etched into their faces. A wave of shock washed over the group, cold and unyielding as the grave. Their hearts pounded in their chests, a deafening echo in the stillness. Their breath hitched, trapped in their throats as they stared at the grim spectacle in disbelief. This couldn't be real, they thought. It must be some twisted illusion, a cruel trick of the mind fueled by fear and exhaustion. But as the surreal horror sunk in, they were forced to confront the gruesome reality. They were staring at their own dead bodies. The horrifying truth hit them like a cold slap of reality. They were ghosts, spectral echoes trapped in a nightmarish loop. The haunted tales of the Hurst Hotel were no longer legends but their own terrifying reality. The eerie figure from the grand room, the unexplained creaks and footsteps, the doors swinging open on their own, it all made a horrifying sense now. They were the hauntings, the shadowy presences that the hotel reveled in. Shock and disbelief gripped them as they stared at their own corpses, realizing the surreal horror they had unwittingly become a part of. Haunted by their own demise, the friends were trapped in a macabre loop within the haunted confines of Hurst Hotel. Their once vibrant existence had faded into spectral echoes, a chilling reminder of the night that had spiraled into a relentless nightmare. Each attempt to escape the eerie labyrinth of the hotel led to the same horrifying revelation, their own lifeless bodies strewn across the lobby floor. The sight was a grotesque mirror reflecting their fear-drenched demise, a sight that sent shivers of terror rippling through their ethereal forms. Caught in a cycle of fear and despair, they wandered the shadow-laden corridors, their figures merging with the hotel's ghostly tapestry. Time lost meaning as their reality became an eerie echo of the past. The boundary between life and death had blurred, leaving them stranded in an unfathomable dimension of spectral torment. The haunted hotel, a malevolent entity, reveled in their perpetual fear. The echo of their terrified screams resonated through the halls, weaving a haunting melody that seemed to feed the insidious power of the hotel. Their transformation was complete. The echo of their terrified screams became a haunting melody, a chilling reminder of the ill-fated birthday celebration that condemned them to an eternity of spectral torment.